Vassell was completely right saying a couple of months ago that from Miami we'll have completely new F1 racing. Because, everyone was ready for the Bahrain to deliver the first upgrades to the car, but obviously the race was cancelled. So everything was pushed to Miami, and Miami should be a second batch of the updates. So that's why we've seen many teams improving and the field coming together more closely.
Yes, guys, welcome to this week's episode of the We Racing podcast. As you might have noticed, we have been away for a couple of weeks, but we are back. Don't worry, guys. Your long drive to work, long drive home from work, the boredom's gone now. We are back. I'm here with Matt again today, and today we're going to dissect the Miami Grand Prix. How are you, Matt? You okay?
I'm very well, and will be a lot to dissect.
A lot to dissect today. A lot to dissect. I presumed you watched it. As always, I'm going to ask you straight away. Overall thoughts. Go on, hit me with your overall thoughts.
Yeah. Well, I think it was hit, miss, and then hit again. So the middle part of the race, maybe it was a bit boring, because I don't know why, but I believe that since we've changed the regulations, I think the strategy aspect about tires, fuel consumption, etc., is a bit gone away. Because obviously now you have more electric power available in your power unit. So I think that aspect is gone. So the middle of the race was a bit boring because I believe that they were maybe, trying to survive until the race will come or whatever the reason was. But the beginning and the last 10 laps of the race was definitely cinema.
That's what I was going to say. So if you are an F1 fan, the last thing that you can do this season is miss the beginning of the race. Like once upon a time, you were guaranteed like a safe start, or nearly always going to a safe start. So it's like, grab the popcorn, we'll get there quick. But now you missed the first lap, that start of the race. You missed 90% of the drama these days. We had Max's 360 spin. We also
amazing.
Absolutely amazing. We also had the Gasly incident as well.
Gasly incident, yeah,
that happened. But even with all that happening, I still feel like the main talking point is always going to be the engines and the engine situation and the regulations. Before we actually jump into what we're going to talk about today, I did want to ask you: do you feel like with the race we've had so far? I know it is a new set of regulations, and I know that's, of course, what a lot of people are going to talk about. But do you think we're talking less about racing? And like you mentioned, the strategy. I've not heard that much strategy talk this year so far in, and I feel like it's probably not because it's not there, but it's just it's being replaced of having to talk about the engine and the electrical systems and everything like that. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. So, but, as I said, like previous couple of years, the tires was the most important aspect. Yeah, how quickly or later you will get to the cliff when they will start dropping on performance. And now it's mostly like, sometimes maybe saving up more energy, or who will get into overtake mode, or if they will have enough energy to actually use this overtake mode. So it's less about long-term strategy about the race, but it's about the strategy within next 1 or 2 laps.
Yeah, I think that's really important for the drivers to adapt to this year. So that management, I think that's what some of the changes we had over the break. Just giving them a bit more time to, but also some updates and sort of changing the car to suit them. But of having to do that lap by lap management, constant battery management, it's a lot more for the drivers to be thinking about. But like we've said from the beginning, we are getting a lot more overtakes. I know when we started at the very beginning of the season, we were talking about the overtakes being quite artificial. Do you still feel the same about them now?
I think it's better after they've changed the rules about, the energy deployment and energy management in the electric power unit from Miami. It's a bit better also because the teams were provided by bigger upgrades, so that's why McLaren is back in the fight, and other teams that brought massive updates, except Aston Martin, obviously. But yeah, I agree with you.
I have to say, you obviously just mentioned Aston Martin, and it just took me off on a train of thought. Did you see the stat about the Aston Martins and the F2 cars?
Yeah, they were slower than the slowest F2 qualifying lap.
Like, what is
Um,
going on?
uh, I think it's another scenario that we had in Williams in 2019. There were big hopes, big dreams, a lot of money spent, but actually nothing is coming from it. And I wonder if Adrian Newey made a mistake or Aston Martin made a mistake of partnering with Honda. But it's not the rule, because Red Bull made amazing deal. They won the championships with Honda. But maybe Honda is not the entity to work with, especially on the new engines, because McLaren had in 2014 Honda engines with the new regulations as well, and it was miserable for them as well.
Yeah, I think when it comes to engine suppliers, I was having this conversation the other day actually. When it comes to engine suppliers, you've got obviously your Mercedes, and you've got your Ferraris. They seem, and obviously shown by stats and the wins, Mercedes always seem to come out the blocks quite well when it comes to the engine. Obviously, the beginning of the last set of regs, probably not so much, but generally speaking, they're going to come out of the blocks engine wise. I think Ferrari, again, similar engine wise, not too bad. I think with Honda, I personally would have looked at their track history when it comes to the beginning of the regulations and probably not hung my hat on them. But maybe they know something we don't know. Because again, this is the first year of the regulations. Maybe they've already decided, this year is going to have to be kind of sacrificed. And then next year, because I can't imagine Aston Martin having 2 bad years, especially when they've got Adrian Newey. Can you?
So, as far as I know, Aston Martin was very surprised by the engine performance because a month before the season started, all the directors, including Adrian Newey, they traveled to Japan to meet with Honda representatives, and they found out that during last year, from about 1,000 people that they were working on the engines, 300 people were completely new to the brand and to the project. So I wonder if they done it on purpose because of the cost limitation, or it wasn't very fair towards Aston Martin that they haven't told them, especially when they knew before. And I think because Aston Martin maybe could change last minute the engine supplier, although I don't really know who they would take at the moment.
Yeah, do you not think them and Mercedes could work something out?
I don't think they can because with Mercedes we have Williams, we have Mercedes.
Alpine.
Uh, no, Audi has their own engines.
Alpine got their own engine.
Yeah, they have their own engines, but they don't supply to anyone
Ah,
yet.
yeah.
So they only produce the engine to themselves, which is actually pretty not bad, as we have seen in the last races. Middle on the pack for the new engine supplier that they built the engines from scratch as well. They were not taking any parts from anyone else. So I think they might be good. They might be good. But we'll see. But I don't think that they will be able to get Mercedes back because of the limitation of how many engines they can supply to teams.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No. That makes perfect sense. I mean, Alpine. Just as you touched on them, when I was watching the race on the weekend, I was thinking about you. And not in a weird way. I promise. Not in a weird way.
I know which way.
For those of you who saw the episode where we did our predictions for the season, Mike had some insider trading knowledge going on about Alpine. It said something special was going to happen, and I wasn't too keen on it. Go back and watch it, but I wasn't too keen on it. But he seems to have, whoever his insider spy is, seems to be giving him some good information because Alpine seems to be doing better than I thought, at least at this stage of the season.
Colapinto finished 7th.
Yeah.
If Gasly would still be in the fight, maybe he could contend in the top 6, maybe. And if everything will align for them, they will deliver podiums this season. Probably it would require some DNFs from one of the top of the teams. But I think they have pretty good chance this year.
To be the best of the rest, at least, yeah, 100%. Colapinto seems to be driving out of his skin at the minute. Gasly's always seems to be, he always drives at a certain level, in my opinion, as well. So, a good driver pairing, a good car by the looks of things, like good engine. They've managed to get the regulations without too many hiccups. So, Yeah, I
And this crazy rear wing that they have as well. So now we have three suppliers, three producers, three manufacturers.
that's it.
Let's put it this way: manufacturers that they have, let's say, weird opening for the rear wing. We have obviously Macarena wing from Ferrari. Now we have Red Bull that has the very similar approach, and Alpine that the wing is going completely flat on the straight.
Yeah.
So I think we may, in the beginning of very interesting battle from the teams, who will find more interesting and better solution to Macarena wing.
Yeah, I think the when Red Bull revealed it, I think they called it the Max Carena ring, wing.
I
Um,
haven't heard it, but it sounds funny.
the Max Carena ring. Yeah, I mean they spoke about it at the race, didn't they? They said that when Ferrari dropped the wing, everybody was oohing and ahhing, and Red Bull must have been sat there thinking, "Well, you just wait and see what we've got up our sleeve," and the gap is massive, isn't it? Like that wing opening, where you can see it on the car as it opens up. There's just
It's
so much.
definitely bigger than Ferraris. Definitely
A
bigger.
100%. But I think we had a similar situation. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, with with DRS. Red Bull just mastered getting as much air through that wing during DRS as possible, and it was giving them such an advantage on the straight.
So the difference is, first of all, how you calculate how the Alpine is opening their wing, because their wing is going flat.
Yeah.
They have everything else above them as a wing, flow. But actually, this year there is no regulations of saying how big has to be the gap on the straight mode. So it can be as big as you want, and it doesn't have to meet in any specific requirements. There is only requirement how the wing should look like on the corner mode. So when it's up straight.
Yeah.
And that's the only regulation about the gaps and the between the plates of the rear wing and front wing as well now this year. So as I said, we may see some really cool inventions this year.
Yeah, yeah. I think the innovation is just taking over, isn't it? Especially with this new era,
Yeah.
the active era. I'm a fan. I am a fan of the active era. I'm not gonna lie. Better than the ground cars anyway.
Yeah, but to be fair, if everyone have it available, what's the difference? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Only this rear wing is making the difference, to be fair. Like all the interesting designs like Ferrari, Red Bull, and Alpine.
yeah.
Everyone else has exactly the same,
Yeah, yeah. But that's why it surprises me. And it kind of doesn't surprise me how McLaren are doing and how they look like they're going to do based on form, because their car looks pretty standard. They haven't got any special bells and whistles, and they obviously didn't start great. Oscar didn't start the first or didn't finish the first two races of the season, something like that. And now it looks like they're again challenging for wins and podiums, and putting Ferrari, because it looked like from the jump, it looked like Mercedes were going to run away with it. Then it looked like Mercedes were going to like hang on to their tail. Ferrari were going to hang on to their tail a little bit, and then out of nowhere, it seems that McLaren have seemed to buck their ideas up,
And Max.
Max as well. Then you've also got the Alpines that are sitting in and around that as well. So big shout out to obviously McLaren for whatever it is that they've done to kind of catch back up as such. I mean, what do you think that's down to?
Well, first of all, Fred Vasseur was completely right saying a couple of months ago that from Miami we'll have completely new F1 racing. Because, everyone was ready for the Bahrain to deliver the first upgrades to the car, but obviously the race was cancelled. So everything was pushed to Miami, and Miami should be a second batch of the updates. So now you have everything all at once. So that's why we've seen many teams improving and the field coming together more closely, except Aston Martin, obviously. But I think it's good. That means that the teams still have ideas how to deliver better performance to the cars, and drivers, because it's a new environment for them as well. They are getting used to those cars, so the feedback will be more valuable for the factory. What should be changed to get more performance from the car?
No, yeah, 100%. I think that you've hit the nail on the head there with the upgrades. Because if we'd had those two races in between, we probably would have seen a more gradual
Yeah.
increase on performance, especially from, let's say, maybe Max and from the McLarens. But with it all just coming in at Miami, it's all just coming in one big go, and it looks like they've made a massive leap towards the rest, and maybe even overtaking. It's just I can't explain the pain of being a Ferrari fan, Matt. I just can't. For those who don't get it, I just can't explain it. Like we were so close, and now we just seem so far away. I just don't get it. Obviously, we had the Leclerc situation. For those who don't know, Leclerc got a grid drop penalty. I believe that's what it's called post race. Is that what they call it, or was it just a
But
time? Was it
did
just
he
time?
got the grid penalty as well? I think he got only 20 seconds through
Just
his
the twenty
racing
second
time.
time
Yeah, yeah,
penalty.
yeah.
So we got 20-second time penalty from a multitude of things. One was driving the car, call it how you want to call it, whilst unfit, essentially.
Broken car, yeah.
Yeah. And one was it was leaving the track too many times, gaining an advantage.
He was basically going straight through the corners
Because he
on the
couldn't
last
turn.
lap.
He couldn't turn, and it's harsh because it's like, what can I do? But
He
then
could turn. He could turn.
he should
That's
have.
why that's why he got the penalty. That's because they've called him. The stewards called him for the to the
Oh, I
interview. So
see.
you can see it on the video. So he can turn. Obviously not as big pace as before. But
Yeah.
he was trying to protect the
The
position.
position, yeah.
That's
Okay.
why he was doing it.
Yeah, so he's tried it and he's got caught, but it was fair. But and again, just even the incident where he's hit, he's lucky as well. I mean, well, hit Max for lap one, and obviously Leclerc last lap as well, second to last lap. The fact that he hasn't just smashed up a wing, smashed up the spoiler or anything like that, and he's managed to at least make it round. Granted, with a 20-second time penalty. I mean, fair enough.
Yeah. Also, Lewis Hamilton having a small contact in the beginning of the race. I believe it was Colapinto.
Yeah.
That he lost the downforce as well, and it cost the race as well. Also, fun fact: did you know that Lewis Hamilton was racing in 38 tracks through his career altogether, everywhere in F1, obviously, and there are only 2 tracks that he never scored the podium. Do you know which ones?
I'm gonna say they're gonna be newer tracks. So I'm gonna look at something like. Has he had a podium at Miami? If I was gonna say 2, I'd probably go for. Never had a podium. And are they active tracks at the moment?
One of them.
One of them is one Miami.
Yes, exactly. He could break this record last weekend because the pace was there. He could be close to the podium, but well, I guess he'll have to wait another year.
Yeah, it's what is the other track? Do you know?
It's very funny because I had it written down somewhere and I lost it.
Is it going to be? It's not going to be something like Frank Ricard or something, is it?
It's the race that it's not in the calendar anymore. I think it was Sochi. No,
nah, surely not Sochi.
I don't remember.
It wouldn't be France, would it? Frank Ricard.
No. Let me quickly find out. Let's ask my dear friend ChatGPT.
ChatGPT to the rest. ChatGPT to the rescue.
Just give me a second.
Is this what we found out? Matt made up the stat.
Let's see. No. I've seen it somewhere, and I thought I'd saved it. Oh, there we go. It's a Bud International Circuit in India.
In India.
Yes.
When was that on the calendar?
I think it was 2012 and 2013. I believe. Or maybe 15 as well. Yeah. I hated this track. It wasn't fun to race. I mean, maybe the layout was alright, but it looks so artificial. And there was it was very flat terrain all around, and some corners were so close together that it felt sometimes like a karting track.
Go-kart track.
Yeah, so it wasn't designed for Formula One, and Miami isn't as well because the middle section in Miami is completely horrible. I don't know how they fit. We've seen in the race that Isaac Hadjar didn't in this exact section that I'm talking about, but They have to do something with this track, because it's maybe the new regulations saved the race on Sunday, but the last races were they're always boring,
Yeah,
always boring.
yeah. I do get a period, because there was a point that where Lewis was like 9 seconds behind and 9 seconds in front, like he was just on his ones, just driving around. But
Yeah.
just on the Miami track, maybe it's an unpopular opinion, but I like the middle sector. I like it.
Do you remember old layout, the first layout of Singapore Grand Prix?
Yeah. With the bridge.
That was the first. That's the second layout.
Oh, is that the second one?
The first layout, I believe it's after corner 5 and 6, after the long straight. You basically had chicane with 4 apexes, and they were calling it karting chicane.
I'm gonna have a look at this because I need to. It's a refresh my memory. Let's have a look.
If
Oh,
you'll see,
I can see. Right, okay. I don't know if this is going to be on the screen for you guys or not, but you can see corner 14, 15, 16, 17, 18,
yeah,
19, 20, and 21 are all within the length of the street that my house is on. So,
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
So they've changed it simply because it was too dangerous to drive.
yeah,
Yeah, because after the long straight, it basically was launching the cars in the air. So you can imagine how dangerous it was.
yeah,
And I beg everyone in Formula One, please remove this chicane from Miami. It's pointless, or make it wider at least, because through, I believe, 6 corners, there's no other way that the cars will not fit together, at the
yeah,
same track, side by side. It's impossible.
yeah. Do you believe that a racing track all parts of the racing track should fit at least 2 cars?
Yes, I believe so. I believe so. Maybe not Monaco, because that's completely different story. But it's a new track. But also, I understand that Miami is not only for Formula One. There are other series racing there as well, and maybe it works other series. But this is Formula One. That's the pinnacle of motorsport. So
Yeah,
make it at least interesting for F1 fans who are watching the race.
yeah.
And we don't want to see the procession after between the 6 corners, just seeing them driving around and hoping they won't crash.
Yeah. So 2 things. First of all, if you were gonna change the track, if they gave you the keys to the Miami track, what would you put there instead of the chicane?
So there are 2 options: or make the chicane wider,
Yeah.
even if the distance between the corners will still be the same, but I maybe remove the walls.
Okay.
So and make it a bit, so the 2 cars can fight side by side.
Yeah.
Or make the nice corner that is closing the apex. So because I believe it's after the shortest straight. So if the exit of the corner before will be good, and the car in front of you'd have very good chance to overtake if the apex is closing on the exit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking, would they have to change the corner before? Because once you come off the straight, once you take the sort of right kind of leaning corner, sweeping corner before before it comes
Yeah.
left and hits the chicane, I'm just thinking if they widen that up and you're 2 cars deep in there, I'm just trying to think, like, is that gonna? Because the thing I like is the fact that when you do go into that chicane, if you
Yeah.
are the car behind, maybe more so in DRS times, if you are the car behind, that car in front of you has to get a good exit.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're going to get them. Obviously, if you then don't get a good exit, they then get away. So I felt like it was a bit of like maybe respite for the drivers, if you call it. But yeah, I personally like the chicane, but I can definitely see why. I think that maybe at least widening the track would be a good idea.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's a perfect spot to recharge your battery before the long straight, because it's slow, you have a lot of brakings, and it doesn't punish you a lot when you're the car in front. When you car in the back, you are struggling a bit more, obviously, because of the aero drag from the car in front. But I just don't like it.
Fair enough. No, I get it. I think especially like I get your resemblance to the Singapore track in that sense. I mean, on that corner, the Isaac Hadjar situation. I mean, I've done that playing F1 100 times myself. You go around that corner, you clip that. But I think again, that's just down to. I think that's down to, as an F1 driver, obviously you're looking so far ahead at the next corner. He's obviously just made the misjudgment, and obviously it's just killed his race. But I don't know. I think it does still bring something that the drivers have to think about. I don't know if there's too much to think about on the Miami track. To be honest, I think it's quite an easy layout.
Yeah. It is easy. Maybe that's why it's boring, from my opinion.
Yeah.
Because there's not many challenging corners except this chicane, but it's not about the skill, but about hoping that everything will hold together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, literally, and getting a good exit essentially. I think we've podded long enough today without talking about Kimi. So let's jump straight onto that. What an amazing driver! Like I love watching him. Whenever he's racing. I said to my friends the other day. I was like, if Ferrari aren't winning, I want Kimi to win. He's just an exceptional talent, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, second year in F1 and going straight to the title. I remember only one driver doing it, and his name is Lewis Hamilton. So he's another generational talent, and I hope that he will stay as he is at the moment. Lovely guy, super friendly, jokes around. It's fun, It's fun to watch this kind of driver, and also I've seen the post. Even I believe Italian Prime Minister was talking about this. So because Italy is not coming to World Cup, all Italian people who follow sport, they're focusing on Kimi Antonelli. And that's why Mercedes has a massive problem with Italian fans, because they basically trying to break in everywhere where Kimi Antonelli is, and they are worrying that it will put the burden of his performance, because every single paper want to interview Antonelli, every single TV station, everyone, he's everywhere.
Yeah. But I think that's what happens when you are one of the only drivers from your country. Like if you look at Checo, people, when you go to Mexico, you can't go 5 minutes without seeing Checo's face somewhere.
Yeah.
So, and I'm probably
I can say exactly the same. We had Robert Kubica in F1 from Poland. He's everywhere.
Yes, I get them one nationality drivers, or those drivers with the nationalities don't come around very often. They do tend to go absolutely crazy. Monza's gonna be, if he's leading at Monza this year, it's gonna be a spectacle.
It will be great race to go this year. Like, even for the general admission, just for the atmosphere, and see those Italian people. Well, considering how the season will go, or Ferrari will win, or Antonelli will win. So they will be absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, no, 100%. So guys, you've heard it here first. If you're watching and you want to sponsor us to go and do some serious work, serious work at the Monza Grand Prix, not just lounge around and watch the racing, so some serious work, drop us an email and we'll get back to you.
And if you have seen our piece from GT Media Day, go and see, because apparently it was pretty good.
Yeah, we've had some I was gonna say very good, some excellent feedback about the GT Media Day content media. So go and check that out. Drop it a like, drop it a comment, and check out the short bits on our social medias as well. We're looking to do more of that kind of in person, in real life stuff.
It was very fun to record as well. Like, it was complete no pressure. You were great in front of the camera, and I was just fiddling with the gimbal.
Just dumb and dumber walking around, just trying to get into play.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, great day. So we're going to try and do some more of that, guys. So if that is what you want to see, or there is anything else you guys want to see, drop a comment on this video, the other video, go watch it, drop it a like, listen to it on Spotify, give it 5 stars, all the rest.
Exactly.
Lando and go on.
Before we'll go to the next topic, I want to say something that I've heard recently, and I believe with 95% of certainty that is real. I've heard that George Russell, other way around, Toto Wolff always had a spare driver in their team. First it was Bottas, I'm not considering Rosberg because Rosberg was first in Mercedes. He was contracted before even Toto Wolff came to Mercedes. But I've heard that Toto Wolff is treating George as a spare driver, and I've heard that Max Verstappen will replace him next year in Mercedes, and George Russell will go to Red Bull. How big is that?
Do you know what it is, Matt, about you? Let me tell you something, guys. Yeah, you guys might not know this. Let me tell you something. Whenever Matt says I have heard, yeah, if Matt tells you I've heard the lottery numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, you better go and pop on 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm telling you, because what he says happens. So, okay, my ears are to the ground. First, okay, let's dissect this. So, Toto having a spare driver, I would like to agree on most bases. I think he's probably got that number 2, and the number 1, the number 2. I think having two number 1 drivers, e.g. Lewis and Rosberg, showed how difficult it gets, especially when at the top of their game.
Last year in McLaren
exactly
last year. The same.
Literally same thing. So it does make sense. But then to counteract that is, if George is going to go to Red Bull and Max is going to come to Mercedes, who's going to be Mercedes' number 1 driver?
That's another question.
so then will he have 2 and always have a number 2?
Another question is, if Max want to come to Mercedes to win the championships, or he want to win another championships for Antonelli, if Antonelli will get the champion this year, simply because they are very good friends. And Verstappen really helped Antonelli coming to F1 within his first race and stuff. Apparently, they were spending, some time on the phone conversations after races, and Max was actually giving him advices.
Oh, really?
You can't really see that, because now he's a direct competitor. But you can see that the first person who come to Kimi after winning the race was Max to congratulate him.
Yeah, no, I did notice that. I knew Max and Bortoletto had a bond, but I wasn't sure on. I didn't know about Kimi and Max, but I did notice Max obviously came over after the race. So yeah, interesting. I mean, Lewis and Rosberg were friends once upon a time, and then they
exploding.
They became teammates. So we'll see, but definitely,
I still love when Rosberg is on Sky Sports. He always admits that he beat 7-time world champion in 2016, and I love how this dynamic works, because maybe they are still friends privately, but I like how they roast each other on public spaces.
In public, yeah. I'm sure, because I'm sure not only were they friends before, obviously you're going to have an immense amount of respect for each other anyway. So I'm sure it's a bit more for the show and for the TV. And I'm sure I doubt they're probably best of friends. But I'm sure they probably are still friends, or friends to some extent.
No, at least they respect each other. At least, they both are world champions. One is multiple one. And, and it also happened 10 years ago, so chill out already.
Yeah. He does love to mention it, but it is funny. It is funny, to be fair. It is nice to hear some of the stories. To be fair. And I like, just to go off topic a bit, I do like Rosberg when he's on Sky. I think like his analysis is always really good. His insight into the life of a F1 driver, how they should be performing, the team dynamics that would make them perform and not perform, all of that. I think he's super when he comes onto Sky. So I really like him. So one obviously stat is Mercedes were unbeaten this year. Do you think this is going to continue? That's my first question.
Well, it all depends how they will manage it, because if they spend a lot of resources to be the best from the beginning, but then obviously, I don't know, they will hit the cost cap, they will be very close, or, there's many or maybe other teams will catch up much quicker than they were expecting. It may change, because as I mentioned before, that this season looks very similar to season 2009 when KERS was introduced, all new aero was introduced, new engines as well. So I think it could be another story of Brown GP, that they were dominating first half of the season, and then Red Bull caught up in 2009. And now we have other way around. The Mercedes is dominating still, but you can see that the gap is noticeably smaller and smaller for every race. So it could happen that in the end, they will be not winning as much as before.
I think the one thing that you tend to hear a lot of in the paddock is it's a long season. And it's the same in a lot of sports that obviously have a season. You know, if you look at the football at the minute, Premier League, you know, Arsenal been top, City come top. Now there's 6 points between them. Who's going to win it? Is Arsenal going to take it over the line? I think it's quite similar to that in the sense of this year, especially with the new regulations. I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as what we're seeing now, because there's already been a massive
Yeah.
jump from the start of the season to Miami, let alone now what we're about to go to Canada. By the time we start getting to like the Asian tracks, or the Asian tracks, sorry, the other European tracks,
Mhm.
I think we're really going to see a difference. I'm hoping that Ferrari can sort out whatever it is, but my worry is the fact that they're so close and still not quite there. And you can watch McLaren, who were sort of probably further away, and probably in my eyes, at least at the Miami Grand Prix, I know it's only one race in, but in my eyes, make such a big jump in progress. Does worry me a little bit when it comes to Ferrari.
Yeah, that can be possible, absolutely. But as you said, the season is long. I'm sure there will be at least 3, maybe even 4 batches of big upgrades this season
Yeah,
for each team. So it doesn't mean that every upgrade will work. Because they might bring some upgrades and will be step back from they were expecting, and then you have to put another one just to keep with the pack. So the regulations are, well, from one side they're so broad that they're free for interpretation, but on the other side you have a lot of restrictions. So it all depends how the engineers will interpret the rules for their benefit. And it will be very easy to make a mistake, but also very easy to make groundbreaking change that will give you massive advantage.
yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, we haven't even touched on the sprint yet. Obviously that was the
Is it even anything to talk about? It was so boring.
yeah.
For it was 19 laps. Even start was interesting.
Yeah, I think the sprint felt like the middle part of most of the races so far this
Yeah.
season. Just very.
Yeah, Miami is not a good track for the sprint. It's not a good track for the
Oh,
sprint. You need the tracks like Bahrain when you have a lot of overtaking opportunities. In Miami, you have maybe 2 or 3 corners when you can try to do it.
trying to overtake. Yeah,
But yeah, like Italy, even Imola, was great for the sprint. They have to think where to put those sprints to put the best show, not necessarily what income it will bring. Because even from the social media perspective, if there's a lot of happening in the sprint, why not to keep it where it was before? You don't have to change it every year.
change it every year. Yeah, no, for sure. And I was just having a look at when the sprint starts. Obviously, the Canadian Grand Prix is a sprint. Then we've got a sprint at Silverstone, and then we've got one at Zandvoort.
Yeah.
Is that the last? Is Zandvoort the last one? Oh, no. Then we've got Singapore as well. So we've got
Okay.
Canada, Silverstone. We've got Zandvoort, Singapore. Those tracks. I'm just trying to think. I think maybe not Canada, but I think we've had some good Canadian sprints.
The Canadian race, in my opinion, they're always interesting. It's
Yeah,
one of my favorite tracks. You have a lot of straight speed, definitely there. So we may see a lot of overtakes considering the new regulations. Singapore, we have a lot of straights as well.
yeah.
Silverstone, it's obvious that they will deliver a good race. But on the point of Silverstone, and I will use my phrase again, I've heard that we may that we might have 2 F1 races on Silverstone this year.
Yeah, I heard that. I did hear that one. To be fair,
I don't know where, because hopefully they don't want to put it in December.
I I would have rather, yeah, hopefully not December, yeah. If they are going to do this, I would have rather them personally have picked rather than, oh, so they're not going, are they going to be consecutive weekends, or are they going to be
There's nothing confirmed yet.
okay?
As far as I know, the official request was sent from F1 to Silverstone circuit.
Yeah,
But we'll see. It's not like the Silverstone is empty. As we have seen, there's always something
Always
happening at
going on.
Silverstone.
Yeah.
And, if it collides with other series, obviously they cannot do it. So, it's more about aligning calendars and how they can do it. But obviously the smartest would be to have them weekend by weekend.
I don't know if I would want it to be Silverstone though, because as much I love Silverstone. I think part of it's like intrigue. It's like there's one Silverstone. Because so what? So is it if let's say there's two Silverstone races and Lewis wins one and Charles wins the other, they're both Silverstone winners for 2026.
Yeah, probably they would have different names, like we had in 2020 during COVID. Like you had two Grand
Yeah.
Prix in Austria,
Yeah.
Grand Prix in Bahrain, and I think there were two at Silverstone as well in 2020. So it all depends how they will manage it. I don't think there is a different configuration at Silverstone that is FIA 1 graded. That's another question. Maybe someone can answer that. But maybe they could even. There's no other track that is suitable for Formula One in UK, unfortunately. But well, anything can happen. Also, on another part, I've heard that Aramco, the sponsor of Formula One,
Yeah.
they highly pushing to bring back the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix as well. Simply because I think they're giving like something ridiculous, like £3.5 billion over to 10 years. That's massive money. So I can't understand why they want to bring this race, because they're losing a lot of money on it, isn't it?
Yeah. No, 100%, and I think it does make perfect sense.
Also, I wanted to go there, so please bring it back.
Matt wants to go, so bring it back. I think that will say, if you didn't know, if they weren't going to be back already, once we let them know that Matt wants to go, I'm sure he will. I'm sure they'll make some changes. I'm also thinking now we need to get some t-shirts, some merch done. I've been told, I've heard.
That's actually a super idea. I will have to have a look at that about this.
I need one of them. Yeah. So I mean, overall, not a very exciting race this weekend. Not that most of them have been the most thrilling. I'm trying to think of any sort of particular battles that were interesting. There was Max and everybody at one point, coming from sort of back of the grid. But other than that, I think was it maybe Piastri and Russell had a bit of a something? For a couple of laps.
But to be fair, in the first 3 laps of Grand Prix, more happened than the whole sprint. So
yeah. Let's hope for more exciting racing in Canada.
It's 3 weeks gap again. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I know. It's way too long. I mean, when the weekend came, I was like, oh, the F1's here. But like in the time where there is no F1. You may have seen I posted a TikTok video about it like last year or so. When there's no F1, I just want to get in the shower fully clothed and cry, and just wait for the F1 to come back, because it's like 3 weeks is too long. Give me a week, 2 weeks, but once we start looking at 3 weeks, I start losing my mind.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I had slightly different. Maybe not approach feelings, maybe because I wasn't so excited. Maybe because of the regulations, because I know we've seen now that Japan looked as a previous race. I wasn't so excited about F1 coming back. I don't know why. Maybe it's it's my 21st season of watching F1. Maybe it's already too much in my memory, but hopefully not. I wasn't so excited, but the race delivered, so I'm glad that I watched it live.
Yeah, I mean, usually United are losing, so I need the F1 to sometimes bring me back. But then obviously Ferrari are terrible as well. But at least now United are winning at the minute. So when Ferrari are messing up, at least only one of the two teams that are causing me mental stress. But when it's 2 for 2, whew. So it's a long weekend. It's a long weekend.
Yeah.
That way. But yeah, Canada next 3-week gap. Hopefully, I don't know. I want to say some good words. Should we all say a prayer for Aston Martin? Because it's not nice, is it? It's not nice watching them trundle around at the back and not really compete.
Yeah, in one of the interviews, Fernando Alonso said that if he will score 5th position, not even a podium this year, he said he will retire after the race straight away. He must be sure that it won't happen.
Yeah, he must know that there is no way that dustbin is getting anywhere near top.
They might get a point or two with some luck.
We need
Like-
what race? There's been a few, but what race was it? Like a Monza? Was it Monza 20 or something? We just need plenty of rain. Everybody in the first 15 to crash out. Have a red flag.
Hockenheim.
Yeah.
Hockenheim. We had Hockenheim in 2019, where Kubica scored his 1 point in Williams.
That's it.
Yeah, when basically it was when everyone was crashing. Remember, like Leclerc crashed,
That's it.
Bottas crashed, Hamilton crashed, Vettel crashed. Like a lot of drivers crashed, and I think 13 cars only finished the race.
Yeah,
or 12. I don't remember.
That's what Aston Martin need, but chances are they would probably crash as well. So we can't do too much. Just before we do close out as well, actually, I do just want to quickly talk about Williams because I haven't touched on them. Absolute horror start to the season, and not a fantastic couple of weeks. But I mean, they've seemed to definitely have made some improvements over the break.
Yeah, looks like it, but has it changed their position in the standings? Not really.
Oh.
They obviously they delivered the improvements, but other teams did it as well. So
yeah,
they need to work a bit harder.
I wish I knew what was going on with them because they last year, and again I guess it is just coming out of them blocks with a new set of regulations. I think if we had another year of the same regulations of last year, I think Williams would be sort of doing what Alpine's doing now, just trying to. I genuinely believe that. But I just think maybe with the new change of regulations, it was just too much because they look so ready to go on and do better from last year and to where they are this year. You can hear it in Sainz's voice when he speaks on the radio. Like he just seems just so frustrated.
Yeah, and Albon as well. You know, it's not the best situation. Personally, I don't think that they will be able to keep any Williams or Sainz if there will be extended offers from another teams. I don't think they will be.
Yeah. I think it will be hard to keep him. I mean, I know when Val spoke last year, he said, he believes in the project. How much?
Well, now we have the reality of the project, so I'm not sure if he still believes it.
Yeah, sometimes things do have to get worse before they get better. So I'm hoping that they manage to kind of turn it around and sort of start to end on a high at least. I hate William. They're like my second team. Because I'm my second team, so I hate watching them do.
Yeah, I've seen some news that currently they overweight about 28 kilos over the minimal weight. So
yeah,
that gives them about the second of the pace. That is taken away from them, which would put them on the top. Maybe not on the top, but
up there.
First four teams, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They would be fighting probably like with Ferrari, maybe. They would be above the Alpine, definitely.
Yeah.
But it's not, so... Or they have to... sorry, I've heard as well that they will be making new monocoque and complete the new construction that will have to pass the crash test as well.
Right.
That will be lighter. So that's another resources that they have to put into this year. And I'm not sure if they will be able to afford that if they want to be that aggressive with the updates as James Vowles announced.
Yeah, no, for sure. Weight has seemed to have been quite a tricky thing for a lot of teams to get on top of this year. So that's why I think, again, like most regulations, first year, some teams get it really right, some teams get it really wrong. And hopefully by next year, the gap starts to close. And like we say, last year of the regulations, we just saw, it was close. So that's what we want. Yeah. We want to see that good racing. But yeah, guys, that was the Miami GP episode. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Please, guys, please do not forget, if you do watch us and you do like us, drop us a like, drop us a comment, go over to our social media, drop us a follow. If there's anything you want to see, Max DMs are open 24/7. Go into slide into those DMs, let them know what you want to see, let them know what you like. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Peace.
Thanks, you guys. See ya. Bye-bye.